Okay, so if you're an international student or you're thinking about becoming one, you've made a massive, life-changing decision. It's a journey that's packed with incredible growth, for sure, but it also comes with its own unique set of challenges. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into how to navigate all of that so you're not just getting by, you're actually thriving.
Wow, this quote it really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It captures the two sides of the same coin. On one hand, you have this immense bravery. Packing up your entire life to start over somewhere new, that's incredible. But on the other hand, there's this quiet loneliness that can just creep in. It's a feeling so many international students know all too well. You know, every single person who does this has answered a kind of call to adventure. It's a heroic step, filled with all this promise and excitement. But like in any great story, the journey is never just a straight line. There are always trials. And the first step is just taking a moment to recognize the incredible courage it took just to get here.
Just think about that for a second. Seriously, if you're nodding your head right now, or even just feeling that in your chest, I want you to know you are so far from alone. That feeling, it's a totally normal, expected part of this huge life change, and understanding that right from the start is absolutely crucial.
So let's talk about those challenges. Because they often work just under the surface, right? They're the things we don't exactly post on our Instagram stories. These are the invisible hurdles that can make the whole journey feel so much tougher than we ever thought it would be.
Now, when you look at this list, what's so striking is just how universal these stressors are. You've got culture shock and trying to figure out who you are in this new place. Then there's the academic pressure, the financial stress, and of course that deep ache of missing your family. These are the shared, silent battles that so many international students are fighting.
And this one, it's huge. The weight of expectations from your family back home, from the university, and honestly, most of all, from yourself. It can feel like every single grade, every assignment is carrying the entire weight of your future on its shoulders.
And then there's this. You could be in a packed lecture hall or walking through a bustling city and still feel this profound sense of being alone. It's a really unique kind of isolation that comes from having to rebuild your entire support system literally from square one.
Okay, please, if you only remember one thing, let it be this. This is such an important idea. Struggling is not a sign that you're failing. It is the literal definition of adjusting. It's the natural friction that happens when you're growing into a new version of yourself in a brand new place.
But here is the good news. In every great story, the hero eventually finds guides, mentors, allies. And your journey is no different. Support is out there, and finding it, reaching out for it, that's a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. So what does that actually look like?
Let's make this feel a little more real. I want to tell you about a student, we'll call him Samuel. He came here just like a lot of you, super energized, full of hope. But after a few months, those unseen challenges we talked about started to get to him. He was anxious all the time, he stopped hanging out with his friends, and he was really just struggling in silence. Partly because, where he grew up, people just didn't really talk about mental health.
So, what changed? What was the turning point? It wasn't some huge dramatic thing. It was actually something really small. A friend invited him to a community event. And being there, in that room, hearing other students share feelings so similar to his own, it was like a spell was broken. He suddenly realized, oh, this isn't just me. This isn't a personal flaw. This is a shared experience.
And this is the real key to Samuel's story. Getting support didn't magically make the academic pressure or the financial stress just disappear. Of course not. But what it did do was give him the resilience to face those things. It gave him tools to manage his anxiety, and it gave him a community that reminded him that he belonged.
So where can you actually find this kind of support? Well, it usually comes in two main flavors. First, you've got your on-campus support. Things like confidential counseling, academic advisors, student health centers. These are amazing resources designed not just for a crisis, but for prevention and growth. And then you have community-based support. This offers a different kind of healing, one that's really rooted in shared culture and peer connection. It's about being in a space where you just feel seen and understood.
And these are not just abstract ideas. These are real places. Groups like the New African Canadians, or NAC, and the House of Wellness, they are creating these exact kinds of spaces. They run events and workshops that are designed specifically to fight that feeling of isolation and to build those really important peer networks.
And what's really cool is that this conversation is getting bigger. Events like the Global Mental Wellbeing Conference show that this isn't just a personal issue or even just a campus issue. It's a global one. When you bring students, researchers, and community leaders together like this, you start to break down that stigma, and you remember that we are all part of a huge worldwide effort. Okay, so we've talked about finding your allies out in the world.
But what about the tools you can carry with you in your own personal toolkit for your mental wellness every single day? Let's go over a few.
All right, here are 5 super practical, actionable steps you could start today. Number 1, check in with yourself. Just pause and ask, hey, how am I really doing? Notice if your sleep or your mood has changed. 2, talk to someone early. Don't wait until it feels like a crisis. 3, build micro-connections. Join one club. Go to one event. Small steps make a huge difference. 4, balance survival with living. You are here to live and grow, not just to grind through studying and work. And finally, number 5, and this might be the most important, practice self-compassion. Please, be kind to yourself. You are doing something incredibly hard, and you deserve that kindness.
Because ultimately, this whole journey, it is not about just gritting your teeth and pushing through. That's not the goal. The goal is to move beyond just surviving and into a place where you are actually genuinely, joyfully thriving.
And this leads to our final and maybe most crucial big idea. We have to start seeing mental health not as the absence of a problem, but as the presence of positive things. It's about building up our strength to bounce back, creating deep connections with other people, and finding a real sense of purpose in what we're doing.
So let's just bust these myths once and for all. Say it with me. You can ask for help and still be strong. You can struggle and still succeed. These things are not opposites. They are partners on the very same journey.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's simple, really. The path that you are on right now, it matters. The story you are writing every single day, it matters. And most importantly of all, you were never, ever meant to walk this path alone. The bravest decision isn't just coming here. It's reaching out and connecting now that you've arrived.